Welcome everyone, I'm Archit Seshadri. Thanks so much for watching WION, World is One News. We're coming to you live from Chennai in Tamil Nadu, where we've been on the ground covering all the political developments as the state goes through a huge shuffle, a turmoil, as the race for who will be the next chief minister of the state continues. All of this unfolded this week after Sashikala was elected as the legislative leader of the AIADMK party. Things then took a dramatic turn Tuesday night when Paneerselvam, who originally resigned, revealed a lot of truths, and now he has garnered public support from the people of the state. But it looks like it is a numbers game. Sashikala, a close friend of Jayalalitha, well, she has many of the MLAs behind. The big question this hour is, will some of those MLAs switch sides and go on Paneerselvam's camps? And we are right now outside of Raj Bhavan. You can see a huge police security presence built up here. Vidyasagar Rao, the governor of Tamil Nadu, is expected to land within the hour and make his way here to his residence, where he'll be meeting with both candidates, both contenders, Sashikala Natarajan, around 7:30 in the evening. But first, he'll be meeting with Paneerselvam, OPS, who we spoke to many people, as well as, in fact, we spoke to the man himself about why he is the right choice for the people of Tamil Nadu. We're now going to our correspondent, Nischita Varandra, who has been covering this story since it broke. Quite a dramatic day, a little bit of a scuffle that happened a short while ago. Let's bring our viewers up to speed on what just happened here with the protests.
Well, now the feeling is that, as we have discussed all through the day, that VK Sashikala might enjoy the support of the legislative party leaders, but on the other hand, she might not really enjoy the support of the common man, of the people on the street. So the AIADMK's attempts to change that perception is really coming through. To begin with, soon after she took over as the legislative party chief, there was Dr. Richard, who had treated the surgeon who treated Jayalalitha.
Right.
Yes, come out and give out a press statement as to how the doctors and Sashikala did everything in their capacity to save her. An obvious attempt to change that perception. Secondly, this morning there was a circulation of an SMS that came through by students, apolitical students, who said that they will be staging a protest at the Marina Beach as they would want to show their support to O. Paneerselvam.
That's where Jayalalitha was buried.
Yes,
right.
And immediately after that there was another SMS that came through that there was another group of students who wanted to support Sashikala. And now, even as the moment inches closer towards when Governor Vidyasagar Rao will be arriving at the Raj Bhavan, and it's obvious that the focus is on Raj Bhavan. Here is where all the meeting will take place, and here is where the media is. You have the AIADMK cadres coming in and shouting pro-Shashikala's slogans. Of course, because of the strict police presence here, they were immediately bundled up and taken away. They have been detained now.
And what does that show? Because it looks like, as we spoke earlier, a lot of the support, the sentiments of the people of Tamil Nadu are geared towards the unsung hero OPS, but what we just saw moments ago with that car and those people supporting Sashikala, what does that mean? Why now, and why important is that in the context of all of this?
Exactly. Why now, when she's already the General Secretary, when she's already the legislature party chief, and all she has to do is prove her majority in the assembly, and they claim that they have the entire party behind them. So why come out here and stage a protest? What do they want out of the protest? Exactly goes on to show the insecurities that are emerging from the AIADMK. They assume that this is going to be an easy path for them. It is easy for Sashikala to take over as the chief minister, and the people will naturally accept her because of her association with Jayalalitha. But unfortunately for her and the party, that is really not the case. And O. Paneerselvam's startling revelations, the last-minute anti-climatic revelations, have really completely changed the game now.
So it's a big question about what will happen with those conversations that will happen at 5 o'clock and 7:35 with OPS, and then with Sashikala later on. And earlier on this afternoon, we were at Pose Garden, where we spoke to Apsara Reddy. She is a member, a spokesperson for the AIADMK party, who says that Sashikala is the right candidate. So again, garnering support with Sashikala, saying she has been a close friend. Let's listen into that interview. We're outside of Pose Garden here, where a huge crowd is gathered. Many of the Amma supporters, as you can take a look behind me here, quite a bit of them addressing the media here. A little bit of a commotion as cars try to come in and out. Many of them holding pictures of Jayalalitha. You can see emotions really running high. I'm now joined by AIADMK spokesperson Apsara Reddy. Thank you so much for joining us. Lots has happened this week. Still, back and forth between Paneerselvam, Sashikala. At this point, the governor also, coming in at this point. Talk to us a little bit about where we are in terms of how the people of Tamil Nadu are reacting with this.
I think the people of Tamil Nadu are very disappointed with Mr. O. Paneerselvam is doing. We cannot believe social media trends, which is very urban and elite. I think we're a state of 7 crore plus people, and they deserve a strong leader. And the true bearer of that legacy is Chinnamma. And she's been elected to the top position by majority of the MLAs who are people's representatives who've been in consultation with their constituents. And I think it's very unfair of Mr. OPS to play cheap, opportunistic politics because he wants to have an easy shot at the Chief Minister's chair. He was the one who mooted Chinnamma's name. He was the one who called for the MLA's meeting. And finally, to have decided to do this volte-face just because he wants to, gain power through unscrupulous means is very, very sad. I feel people can see through it. We need a state of stability, a stable state and a stable government. We can't be held to ransom by one person's political ambitions. Chinnamma was somebody who's kept a dignified silence. She was elevated by the correct norms, democratic norms within the party. And really sad that Mr. O. Paneerselvam is banking on a few disgruntled former ousted members of the party to kind of stake claim to power.
At this point as well, many people that we spoke to were outside Paneerselvam's house. A lot of those people say that Chinnamma was not the one that was voted by the people. She was not the one that was elected. How do you respond to that?
Chinnamma is somebody who's been with Madam Jayalalitha for 33 long years. I think she served in as her confidant, as her aide, and she looked after Amma even during her political wilderness. Sashikala Madam has nurtured her before she became the great Purachi Televi Amma. Chinnamma has been with Madam Jayalalitha for the time immemorial. And I think it's unfair to say she's not been nurtured or mentored by Amma because Amma took her to every leadership conclave, every election rally, everywhere. O. Paneerselvam was just elected, even selected by Madam Jayalalitha to be a stopgap chief minister. His rise to power and his stature is owed to Chinnamma and Madam Jayalalitha. It's so sad that he's shown this side of his personality today.
And at this point, what do we expect to happen in the coming days? There's a lot of confusion. Every couple of days, something big happens. What do we think is going to happen, as far as the people of Tamil Nadu are concerned?
All the MLAs are firmly behind Chinnamma. There will be a meeting with the governor. Majority of the MLAs will support Chinnamma and she will become the chief minister.
All right, Apsara Reddy, thank you so much for your thoughts. There you have it, both sides of the equation between who's on whose side, whether it's Paneerselvam or if it's on Chinnamma's side. Only time will tell. Reporting outside of Poa's Garden, Archita Chaudhary. Right now, the clock is ticking as we eagerly await Governor Vidyasagar Rao, who's expected to come here to Raj Bhavan here in Chennai. We're in Guindy, where the anticipation is certainly building up. I'm going to bring back our correspondent here, Nishita, again. We're waiting to find out when he comes and, of course, the conversation that'll follow suit. Talk to us a little bit about what do we expect OPS. Paneerselvam gets the first slot at 5 o'clock, and then Sashikala gets the second spot at 7:30. What do we expect to happen? What do we think Paneerselvam will say at this point?
Right, it could go in O. Paneerselvam's favor if he does give him the date to have a floor test, and O. Paneerselvam does go on to prove that he has the majority. Then they will apply the anti-defection law, and we'll see if 2/3 of the AIADMK members are in support of O. Paneerselvam, and if that happens, it's a clear-cut road for O. Paneerselvam to take over as the chief minister. Option number 2, Sashikala could get the same opportunity of getting to prove that she has a majority in the house, as she has been claiming all along. Another factor that we need to bring in here is that if neither of them can prove majority, then the governor will probably go in and place the Legislative Assembly in animated motion and suspended animation, and then that will eventually result in the President's rule being imposed and probably a re-election as well.
Which a lot of people are at this point maybe even looking at something that
absolutely. If it's a re-election, then it is huge advantage for O. Paneerselvam again, because it seems
even the opposing party, who is sort of keeping a close watch. We're just getting some breaking news to bring to our viewers right now. We do know that Vidyasagar Rao, the governor, has now landed in Chennai. So we understand that probably within the next 30 to 45 minutes, certainly he'll have to deal with traffic like everybody else. We'll have to get from the airport to his house here in Raj Bhavan. So we're going to be eagerly waiting and watching. But let's continue chatting with what all that is happening. We saw some protests a while back. We were talking about some of the options. Is it strategic that OPS got the first slot, or could that go against him? What could happen?
Well, as far as O. Paneerselvam is concerned, yes, it is important that he got the first slot. It will allow him to put his case forward to the governor. The governor has been contemplating the legality of elevating V.K. Sasikala already. He has consulted the Attorney General, as we know. He has delayed coming down to Chennai. He has delayed accepting the proposal by the AIADMK members to swear in VK Sasikala. So the governor too will be looking at options where he will try and delay this process of having a floor test. And that is where O Paneerselvam getting the first appointment will play a huge role. And also, since he will be meeting with the governor, he has already stated that he will try and take back his resignation. Now, this resignation has already been accepted by the governor.
Right. We'll have to watch what happens with that, and if that'll be, change the dynamics.
Absolutely. So if the governor allows him to withdraw his resignation, he stops being the caretaker chief minister, he becomes the chief minister back again.
And Sasikala goes for dampen then.
Absolutely, and that will add more power to him. That will give that much more MLAs to build up the guts to switch sides.
Right, which has already happened with Madhusudan and possibly a few others this
Absolutely.
afternoon.
As far as Madhusudan is concerned, it was an obvious shift because O Paneerselvam took his name and said that Jayalalitha wanted him to become the General Secretary and not Sasikala.
Absolutely. A lot of truths revealed Tuesday night. Let's now go and listen into some reaction, political reaction coming in as well from a BJP leader here in Tamil Nadu to see what they have to say.
Political field is in such confused state, and even the leaders are not with clarity, and even these assembly members are not seen anywhere, and even the caretaker CM is telling that he was threatened and he wanted to get back the resignation. Then Sasikala is telling most of the MLAs are with them and she wants to rule. Even the caretaker CM is telling no, he will prove the majority. So in this situation, how can a governor act?
Well, the other big element, the other big discussion that a lot of people in Tamil Nadu have been talking about, many of them actually concerned or in fact really worried for their own safety, is about the authenticity of Sasikala Natarajan. She's been a close friend of Jayalalitha for many years, but during her time as a friend, as a close aide, she never really had any political power or political experience. So that certainly begs the question. Many people that we spoke to yesterday outside of Paneerselvam's house simply asked the question, why was she so closely guarded at the hospital, at Apollo Hospital, where Jayalalitha was for 2 months last year? Why wasn't anybody else allowed? No pictures, no videos, no regular updates, and then rumors of possibly slow poisoning. Even her own niece, Deepa Jaykumar, who may have been a little estranged, but even she wasn't allowed into the hospital. So this certainly talks a little bit about the skepticism that is brewing and people talking about why Sasikala had so much power and didn't allow anybody in. And now, of course, that probe that Paneerselvam has called in, how is all of that going to factor in to win the hearts of the people of Tamil Nadu? Certainly it's going to be on their mind even 2 months after Jayalalitha Amma's death.
Well, we don't really know what was on the minds of the AIADMK leaders, but particularly VK Sasikala, when it was made such a secret deal when Jayalalitha was in the hospital for over 70 days. But whatever they thought of back then, whatever strategy they had in place back then, it's certainly backfiring at the moment. It is lending more fuel to fire as far as the conspiracy theories are concerned. You mentioned about the slow poisoning. Now you have senior leaders like PH Pandian coming out.
She was pushed earlier this week saying that it was not a natural way that she ended up in the hospital.
Yes. Many claiming that it was an unnatural death. O Paneerselvam too going on to say that he was not allowed inside the hospital, whereas the news that was given through these 75 days was that O Paneerselvam was one of the 5 members who was actually allowed inside the hospital and was allowed to even interact with Jayalalitha. And the claims was that Jayalalitha's condition was improving steadily and it suddenly deteriorated and there was no coming back after that. Even giving the benefit of doubt to VK Sasikala and saying that maybe something was not wrong, maybe she did do everything in her capacity, there is no way of proving it right or wrong now. And the impact that it will have on the psyche of the electorate is what she will have to face and could prove to be very costly for her.
But the interesting thing is, earlier this week, I think on Monday is when some of the doctors from Apollo Hospital talked about the price tag, the more than 5 crore bill, as well as Dr. Richard Beale. I mean, certainly somebody from London, a British doctor coming in. We don't have any reason to believe that there was any kind of a misinformation saying that she did, she came in, she was dehydrated, her condition improved, then it took a turn for the worse because of the uncontrollable sugar, and that is what led to her death. So sort of quelling those rumors, is that really going to pan out? Will people believe that? Or
it is certainly an attempt to get rid of those conspiracy theories and to change the notion that VK Sasikala was behind the demise of Jayalalitha. But let's not forget that someone like a Jayalalitha was a very, the people look at her very emotionally. I'll just give you a small example here. Probably I'm going out of line here. But Jayalalitha, when she was convicted in the disproportionate assets case by the trial court in Bengaluru, and the case was shifted to Karnataka only because the DMK leaders had complained that there will be no fair trial in Tamil Nadu. But when she was convicted in the case by the trial court and sent to jail, you saw people take to the streets and allege that because of the Kaveri issue, Karnataka is ensuring that she is put behind bars. So that is the level of emotional connect that people have, and it's almost hysterical the way people associate themselves with Jayalalitha. So now, whatever VK Shashikala says, Jayalalitha is not coming back. No one will know the truth behind why those 75 days were maintained as such a secret. She was the chief minister, she was the elected representative. The people had every right to know what was the condition of their leader, of their elected representative.
And many of them were left sort of in the dark, no idea.
Absolutely.
And even 2 months after is when a lot of this information coming out after Shashikala was elected. But let's also now focus and shift gears about what is happening here in the coming hours, not even an hour. We know that Vidyasagar Rao has now landed. The governor is on his way to Raj Bhavan, where we are standing by. Talk about the options. We mentioned this earlier, but the critical options that are going to really shape the course of Tamil Nadu politics. Could there be that so?
So the AIADMK has not given a clear figure as to how many MLAs they really have. It said that they have over 120, they claim they have 131, but they'll never go on record with a specific number.
And we have some visuals coming in as well to our viewers, seeing in the governor coming in from the airport to here. So as he makes his way, let's sort of give you the hype and the expectation of what to expect. Sorry, continue, Nishita.
We don't really have a clear-cut figure, and there's news emerging that there's slowly these MLAs are trickling to the side of O Pannirselvam.
Switching gears, switching allegiances.
So the number that Shashikala needs at the moment is 118 MLAs on her side. If she has over 120, and if O Pannirselvam is given enough time to influence the minds of a few more MLAs, all he needs to do is get enough MLAs on his side so that she doesn't have 118.
That's a big question that we'll have to wait and watch.
Absolutely.
What will happen, the big discussions happening in the next few hours here. And when we talk about Tamil Nadu politics, as we have mentioned, it not only stretches here in Chennai and Tamil Nadu, but across the southern states, across India. We were able to talk earlier on this afternoon at Poas Garden from an international viewpoint, from an American who now lives in Tamil Nadu and shuttles his time between India and Indonesia, and to get a sense of how that is perceived, how India truly is a democracy. Let's listen in. What a week it's been in Tamil Nadu politics with the scuffle, the shuffle, and then Pannirselvam coming out earlier on this week revealing a lot of truths about his conversation with the late Chief Minister Jayalalitha, really throwing a wrench in the mix about who is going to be the state's next Chief Minister. Will it be Pannirselvam? Will it be Shashikala? And what will Deepa Jaykumar, Jayalalitha's niece, how will she fit into all of this? So we're trying to get reaction. We've been on the ground talking to people about who they want to run as the next Chief Minister for Tamil Nadu. I'm now joined by Mr. Zach Lobos, a travel coordinator from the United States, who's living in Jakarta, to sort of give us a global global viewpoint on this. Zach, thanks so much for joining us. We see a lot of politics in India and we see politics in the United States, but quite a bit of difference when it comes to the passion here, especially with the parties in Tamil Nadu. What do you make out of this, somebody who's not a Tamilian, but sort of seeing what's unfolding?
I've been coming to Tamil Nadu for some time, to India as well as, of course, living in Indonesia, and I find it, I actually like how people get so active and passionate about politics. I think we could definitely use more of that in our country. In your last, the national election here, they had 55 or 50 plus parties. In India and Indonesia, we had 12 plus parties in the last national election. There's more representation, I feel, of the people and of the different voices, depending on where you're from or what community you're from or what area of the country that you're from, that really kind of speak to you. And I think that's great to see. So with that, of course, comes the activities that you'll be seeing now, where people do feel like they do have more representation, more of a voice, and they can go out there, and if they're not comfortable with something, actually make a difference and not have to wait around for 4 more years to the next election.
Well, that seems to be even the consensus here with what is happening with the the AIADMK party, the DMK party, even the opposition sort of coming in and showing its support what's happening in Tamil Nadu's politics. Let's talk about democracy, though. Especially a lot of people switching gears when we talk about politics with Trump and Clinton and what's happened in the US versus what's happening here in India. Even though this is the state level, we see so many people out and about, you know, at the residences of Post Garden or at Paneerselvam's house or at the Raj Bhavan. You know, you see people really showing their support and why they want a certain candidate to step it up. In that, you know, discrepancy, talk to me about democracy in India versus abroad.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't mean to say it's great to see, but it is great to see where people feel like if they do show up, they will have a voice and they will be heard and they can actually make a difference in their politics. We're slowly seeing that in the United States, but again, we're still very limited to two parties. So we have other ones that kind of are on the fringe, but still not really having any voice, excluded from debates. You know, not really. People aren't feeling really that they're totally represented, which here. It's great to see, and as well as in Indonesia, where people are having that representation.
You mentioned Jimmy Carter as well. I'm not sure if you have the exact quote, but can you give us an analogy? I thought it was an interesting perspective about Jimmy Carter's viewpoint about democracy, but really sort of you know, fits the bill with what's going on in India right now.
That you can't. Jimmy Carter has a great quote that says you can't equate. I'm not being able to quote him exactly, but you can't equate democracy with Christianity. The largest democracy in the world is India, which is primarily Hindu, and the third largest democracy in the world is Indonesia, which is primarily a Muslim country. And I think that's a great, it really kind of sums it up. So, and as he kind of closes it, that democracy and cannot be just associated or equated with Christian values, but it's all of our values, no matter where we are.
And sort of wrapping all of this up, you know, somebody who's not from here, you've sort of seen the politics, you know, since the 90s with Jayalalitha, and then now what's happening here with Sashikala and Paneerselvam and Deepa Jaykumar. Do you have a, you know, what do you think is needed? Maybe if you, as someone who's an outsider coming, you know, living here and doing business in India, what do you think is needed for the next chief minister to do to sort of help the people of Tamil Nadu continue and move forward, so who may be able to continue Jayalalitha's legacy? Who do you think fits that bill, and what's your take on that?
That's a very tough question. So it's really hard to say. I mean, I think that you know, there has been historically. I was here in the '90s, back and forth, coming for the work that we would do for travel and what have you, and we saw, you know, many different kind of governments coming in and out, and it was like kind of a growing pain, so to speak. But it was great to see again people being active in their politics, trying to be active in what's choices and decisions are going to be being made, and during that time that was the opening up of the economy and what have you. So people were out there. It's hard for me to really comment on it here, or else as much as I would like to.
Totally understand. We respect your input and we certainly appreciate your time. Thank you, Mr. Zach Lovaas. And there you have it. The people of Tamil Nadu certainly very passionate about who they want for the next chief minister. So far.
Just one question, sir. Just one question. So what about the deal, sir? Are you seeking any legal opinion, sir? Governor, sir, are you seeking any legal?
Any legal opinion or something else like that?
Just
one comment, sir.
Have you sought any legal opinion on the chaos that is happening in Tamil Nadu, sir?
Please.
Governor, sir, please.
Please cooperate. Please cooperate now. Please. Thank you.
Sir. Just one question, sir. Just one question. So what about the deal, sir? Are you seeking any legal opinion, sir?
All right, so we are now getting word that the governor has refused to answer any questions from the media from the aircraft. Again, we know that Governor Vidyasagar Rao is now in Chennai. He's landed on his way to Raj Bhavan. You can see the huge police presence here. You can see a lot of the cops out here. Security is now being tightened up. Let's take a look at what is happening here. You can see the escort vehicles there. A lot of the media camped out. The police escorting a very active situation here as Governor Vidyasagar Rao now getting ready to make his discussions with the future chief ministers of Tamil Nadu. Let's take a look at some of the political reaction in the meanwhile while the governor makes his way into Raj Bhavan.
So looking at the political scenario that has surrounded Tamil Nadu, how far can the so-called caretaker Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam go here?
See, I think this situation is a man-made kind of crisis. And if the if the governor had acted well in time, this kind of a situation would never have arisen. Here is obviously the governor who is trying to ensure that there is some kind of a dissidence which builds up against the popular leadership of the MLAs. Now, given this scenario, this kind of a situation is building up. Now, we have also seen how the BJP in the past propped up Jitin Ram Manjhi and tried to make him stake a claim. So a similar situation is being adopted. A similar process is being adopted to make use of the fact that there is a chief minister who is willing to stand up. Now, BJP has consistently made use of people who have absolutely no stakes. People like Jitin Ram Manji, people like O. Paneerselvam, to actually question, the popular will of the MLAs. Now, keeping this in mind, this kind of a situation has arisen. Now, if the governor had acted well in time, this situation would never have come.
And looking at this scenario, what are his rights or what are his constitutional rights? Because till the time you do not give your resignation or to the governor, it's not considered legally, a resignation from the party or the acting chief minister. So what are his remaining rights and what is his authority now?
See, whether the chief minister has demitted office or not is an issue, of course. But the point is that clearly the chief minister has made way for the MLAs to choose their own leader. And MLAs have obviously chosen their own leader.
All right, of course, political reaction coming in. Just a short while back, we saw a bunch of police cars, a lot of the officers, and they sort of blocked the road. We saw an envoy of a convoy of vehicles getting inside the Raj Bhavan. So we are taking a look at some of those visuals you are seeing right now. And from our vantage point, it looked like Governor Vidyasagar Rao has, of course, reached his residence at Raj Bhavan. Of course, we don't have 100% confirmation, but we can certainly presume that that is what that huge blockade there earlier meant. The traffic was blocked. We saw a bunch of the police officers as well as vehicles entering there. So we do know in the next hour to an hour and a half, that's when Governor Vidyasagar Rao will be meeting with Paneerselvam OPS to have a discussion about the state of politics, what is going to be happening. And then later on this evening at 7:30, that is when Vidyasagar Rao, the governor, will be meeting with Sashikala. She'll be on her way from Powers Garden here to meet with him. So quite a bit of action to bring to you, developments later on, and I'm sure that's going to stir political reaction, and as well as we'll have to wait and watch to see the political reaction to see how the MLAs, are they going to be loyal and stay with Sashikala, or if they will be switching sides to O. Paneerselvam, just like Madhusudan. So a big wait and watch game at this point. All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break and keep a close eye on what is happening here at the Raj Bhavan in Chennai. But for now, I'm Archit Seshadri, wrapping up this special broadcast from Tamil Nadu. Stay tuned for more news and updates on the other side.